Hi guys, good morning. This is Dr. Jenny, Yusuf Physical Therapist and Doctor of Physical Therapy, Geriatric Clinical Specialist, and the founder of Balance and Fall Support Group and Geriatric Rehab Summit. And also, I am a certified lymphedema therapist. So today, for our Thanks God It's Thursday, we always interviewed innovator, entrepreneur, academician, physical therapist, and occupational therapist making great contribution to our rehab society, geriatric society. And again, for this tonight, if you are in United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, salam alaikum guys. If you're in Philippines, good morning. And if you are in United States of America, good evening. So wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. And this is very special, guys. For the Thanks God It's Thursday, we have Sharon Thorp. She's the founder and the CEO of the Xpandasox. So it's very unique because she always good contributed wonderful knowledge and how she can help our not only geriatric people but also our clinicians and also patients who are making great challenges in lymphedema world and also not only lymphedema, edema, swelling, and anything that might have some issues in their swelling. It's not only swelling itself, any injuries that might have some relationship with use of casts, bandages, things like that. And we will get to know more about her. So without further ado, we have Sharon Thorpe. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. Welcome to Balance and Full Support Group. We are
Yes.
clinicians, caregivers, and also we have great listeners all over. And majority are therapists that might have some questions about you. And tell us more about yourself, Sharon.
Well, it's a rather unique story of Xpandasox. My background, I come out of the fashion industry and had worked in the legwear industry for many years. And usually the only complaint I would ever get about socks is that they were too tight around somebody's calf and they would get a red ring. So trying to come up with a solution to a problem is really a good thing to do in business. And it actually was an answer to a prayer. I was praying for direction, and this idea came to mind to make an expandable sock. And basically spoke to my team and shared my idea with them, and we came up with a prototype and went to our producers. But our expanded socks were originally, we thought the market we were going into was the plus size market and staying within the fashion industry. And we launched in the plus size market in 2015. And about 3 months later, I received a phone call from a company called Lipedema Products. And they purchased some of our products because Xpandasox are a very unique product because they're the only sock in the market that actually stretches to 61 centimeters.
Wow.
So for the ladies who had lipedema, this was the perfect solution. It was the perfect sock for them. And it also has gradient compression. We had it tested in the United States. Not that I even really understood what compression was at that point, but it's back tested as, gradient compression. So to make a very long story short, they started to purchase from us and somebody had taken our product, Xpandasox, over to the Foldy Clinic in Germany
Wow.
and one of the therapists there used it and covered bandages. And they sent me back pictures, and all of a sudden, my whole dimension of business changed out of fashion into really working in a community where we help people. And, that speaks to my heart because my daughter's an occupational therapist.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, she's a pediatric OT. And I've always been in the fashion industry, and it's so much more fulfilling when you're actually helping people as opposed to just making a product.
Yeah, that's wonderful. When you said that it is only a wearable device before, and then it's a garments, and now you're also catering everybody. It doesn't need to have a deformity or disease, but now, what are the people? Who are the people that can benefit the Expanda socks?
It's anybody who has what we would consider a plus size calf. So we not only cater to women who have athletic calves, but the medical community has found us. So initially, we worked within the lymphedema and lipedema world. So I learned a lot about that and about the bandaging and the leg wraps. And the benefit of Xpandasox is that the Xpandasox, they stretch, but they also contract. So as a patient is reducing, the sock reduces with their leg and it holds the bandages in place. The benefit is holding the bandages in place, but it also keeps the bandages clean because that's a really big problem for people. They want to garden, they want to go outside. Well, it's easy with Xpandasox because they cover their wraps and bandages and then they take it off and throw it in the machine. You know, it's machine washable, tumble dry, low. So it makes life a little bit easier for the patient community. And one of the benefits that I've heard from so many patients is that they're embarrassed by what their legs look like. They don't like having bandages. They don't like fielding questions from people asking what's wrong with your leg, whatever the case may be. So Xpandasox give them a fashionable alternative to cover their wraps and bandages. So, you know, when patients are happy, they tend to be more compliant. And we want the patient community to be compliant because reduction is really the goal everybody's looking for. So we also, you know, have had the opportunity since we learned about wraps and bandages from the lymphedema community, it became the natural next step for us to become involved in the wound care community as well. So, you know, anytime there's a bandage, people are opting to wear Xpandasox to keep their bandaging clean. And, you know, I think a big part of our product is it's very affordable as well. And people who are struggling, you know, with their insurances and, you know, we all know the problems that the patient community has. We sort of make things a lot easier for them, more affordable for them. And we offer about 32 different styles for women, and we have styles for men as well. And we also have, as I will show you here, athletic socks, and they have the cushioned foot. So we really stress people exercising, walking, moving their lymphatic fluid. So that became a big part of what we were doing. Then, unfortunately, my mom had a stroke and she went into assisted living. And now, all of a sudden, my mom's legs are starting to swell. And, you know, she's suffering from edema. So now I'm giving my mom Xpandasox. And we now become involved in this community as well. So Xpandasox has sort of been an evolution for me, not coming from the medical community, although now all I think about is the medical community. And it's really been a blessing for so many people because they feel good about themselves. And, you know, I think it's the customer feedback, the patient feedback that has really driven our business. We've learned from our patient community and from all the therapists that are out there. And now Xpandasox are not only available in the US, but we have distributors in Europe as well.
Wow, that's amazing. That's worldwide.
Well, we're getting there.
Yeah, that's why I asked you, is it available? Because I will have a lymphedema summit soon, and I just want to check on you as well because some of my listeners are asking, can we have more knowledge about lymphedema? And luckily, I saw you and met you. That's why I said, let's get to know and give more information about exactly what is lymphedema and also the how many people right now are being challenged with these cases. So
Yeah.
lymphedema and edema for not for the other people not really familiar. Can you explain more superficially what will be the difference of the lymphedema itself to the normal swelling that we meet around it?
With lymphedema, I mean, there's edema. Lymphedema is unique because lymphedema, the legs swell, the lower extremities swell as lymphatic fluid is settling in the legs. And it's very important for people who have lymphedema to have manual lymph drainage, to go to a therapist and have their legs either wrapped or bandaged because as the lymphatic fluid sits in their legs, their legs just keep getting larger and then their skin becomes compromised. And a lot of times there's weeping And when the weeping occurs, then we really stand a chance of getting cellulitis, which is really not something anybody wants to have to deal with because most times you end up in the hospital. So, for us at Xpandasox, we feel that our product helps people to be compliant because they are not dealing with the fact that they're embarrassed by having lymphedema. So I think, this whole lymphedema awareness, we work with a lot of the advocates because I think the lymphedema community, people are not hiding their legs anymore. We're
That's a
really,
good thing.
yeah, and it's an amazing group, and it's a group of women, men who are just like really showing their legs, and they're not embarrassed by their legs, and they're sharing information in Facebook groups, the Lymphy Strong group, there's Ninjas Fighting Lymphedema,
Yes.
and Amy from Ninjas has a foundation for people who can't afford the garments. We work with them. We work within this community of really just trying to bring awareness,
Yeah.
and, because I think awareness is what is lacking. And people go to doctors, and no offense to doctors, but sometimes they're misdiagnosed.
That's true. And
And
they gave medications that really end up flushing only the uh, water itself, but
right,
the protein are still maintained, and later on, it will increase again the swelling. But really, they miss something mechanically. What are we are provided? Let's
yeah,
say the lymph drainage that you've said, but they are just washing it out. But we don't. They don't manually do to improve the flow itself. And these are external factors that might help them.
exactly. And I think within the lymphedema community, it's about awareness because you have to be your own advocate. You
Exact. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I've met a lot of people who have told me stories that, they have primary lymphedema, but they weren't diagnosed until, they were in their 40s, or women who have lipedema that it didn't really occur till after they had a baby or after menopause, and people had just told them, listen, you need to lose weight, and but this is not about losing weight. Like, this is a real problem, lipedema,
Mhm.
So for us, part of my mission is education as well.
Yes.
And, but it's sort of crazy when you're walking on the street and you see somebody who has lymphedema, and you just want to say, like, oh my God, like we could help you,
That's true. Yeah. We are so grateful, and I am grateful to meet you, Sharon. It's just like LinkedIn is really wonderful. I met wonderful innovators by LinkedIn, and thank
Yeah,
you for chatting as we as well. So, guys, for you who's listening, we that's amazing that we have now resources, and knowing that Sharon explained to us the lymphedema benefits of it, the benefits of Xpandasox and lymphedema. But I can say that she also delivered it not only in lymphedema itself, because let's say I'm a physical therapist, Sharon. I'm working in home health, and we have many neurologic cases that they have pain on their legs,
yeah,
and not definitely swelling, but it's a secondary thing. But I believe compression garments such as this also improve and help them when they're wearing AFO. I even told to my patient that I have this I met and new innovator, and she is having Xpandasox. I believe this will benefit you to wear this, that way you're comfortable in using your AFO because your it's very silky, it's silky, and then I believe that it has a breathing well for them while they're wearing it. So that way it's not too tight when they wear their boots, AFO, their other garments, and also improve the circulation, as you've said. Yeah.
yeah. I think the benefits, it's like anybody who has any type of issue with their lower extremities where they're
Mhm.
swollen and large, even in the orthopedic community, a lot
Yes.
of people are wearing Xpandasox to cover a leg cast. Instead of cutting
Hmm.
out socks, they're putting an Xpandasox right over their cast. And at the end of the day, when it's dirty, they throw it in the machine. And you can treat it like a regular sock. You
Hmm.
don't have to hand wash, air dry. We try to make life a little bit easy and simpler.
And also another thing, Sharon, I have many clients. There is, like as you said, you're in wound care, right? So they have these small wounds all over, and they manage it with the bandages. When you say improving your compliance, I totally agree with that. I have this lady, she has her own issues. The patient is the gentleman, all right? And then this lady is trying her best to do the bandaging. But of course, the gentleman will going to walk without slippers, so it's already dirty on the lower bottom. But if they will going to use a socks like this, like expand the socks, it's comfortable and it preserve whatever effort she made for this bandaging, and it will stay longer days rather than really the next day, and she will wash it again. At now, at least this time is very easy, that they will just remove your expand the socks and then wash it there. So that's
Yeah,
really time cost saving, cost effective
it
for
is.
the buying, although some Medicare covers the bandages, but still it will cover the Medicare expenses buying lots of bulk of bandaging. But at least this one, they can have a couple of pair of this.
And we, Xpandasox are private pay, and there was a
Mm-hmm.
reason that I chose to go that route because once, if we became involved in insurance, the cost of Xpandasox would have gone up substantially. So I wanted to keep it where it was affordable
Mm-hmm.
for most people,
Yeah, yeah.
which was very
So it's
important.
easy. So where they can get the Expandasox?
Well, they could buy Xpandasox on Amazon.
Yeah, yeah. We always use Amazon in any other compression garments and even with medical. Yeah. Where else?
Amazon. They could buy it on silverts.com, Buck and Buck. They could buy it on
Oh,
lipedemaproducts.com, Bandages Plus, Compression
wow.
Guru, Health Products for You. There are a lot of places you could buy Xpandasox, and if you know, it's easy if you want to Google it. But they could also reach out to me on LinkedIn. You
Mm-hmm.
know, could provide, depending on where they live, they could look on our website. If you're international, we do have an international presence. And
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I believe on the website, we have information about 6 or 7 different languages. And we have stories from lymphedema patients throughout the world in English and their native tongue. But you could also like click on and see the distributors that we have to make it a
Mm-hmm.
little bit easier when you live outside the United States.
Oh, thank you so much for this contribution. Yeah. Do you have any tips, Sharon, especially for your listeners who are being challenged right now, lymphedema patient or not? So, what will be your main advice on their presently what they're having through right now, especially if they have issues on their legs, swelling and everything?
Well, probably what I'm going to say is probably different than most people would say, but I think in life is filled with challenges, and I think everybody has their own challenges in their own ways, and lymphedema, thank God, is a challenge that is manageable, and there's a community out there that could support you and help you. There's a lot of information out there. As I said, Lymphy Strong, Ninjas Fighting Lymphedema,
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Sobey, who's up in Canada. So just reach out to the community, and you will become part of a network of men and women who really, truly do care about each other. And
Yes.
I think the biggest problem I've seen is the isolation, where people feel isolated and they feel like they're the only one who's dealing with this issue. But we're a global community,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to act that way. And, it's by God's grace, we all have to help each other.
Yes, yes. I would like to also imply to everyone that it's really nice that we educate people, if they're aware that this exists and this is what's happening to a person. The empathy there that this is not contagious. Oh, you have this one, and they don't know. Not everybody knows what is it and how it comes in. The depression, there's a high depression for people who has lymphedema. And for everybody who saw this, you really need to know how to be in place on that situation. You really just either you talk about it properly for education, but not really digging why you have that. You really need to have empathy and That's the reason why you able to develop this. So you're there now. The clients are now more aesthetically able to use it. They will now think about, wow, you have a cool socks, expand the socks, or wow, that's cool on your legs. What do you mean, my legs or my edema? Not now they're confused.
It's interesting because so many patients will send us pictures, and you can look on our Instagram, the Xpandasox Instagram, or on Facebook, or within these groups, and you could just see patients that they're happy. And the other thing, which is they're happy to be able to buy it on Amazon because it feels normal. It's not a medical site. It's not
Okay.
an FEMA site. So as you said earlier, it's really what's in our heads. And it's overcoming the challenges in our mind in order to to take that step forward, to be compliant, to take that first step to find that lymphedema therapist who's really ultimately going to change your life.
Yeah, and you said it's not really not medical. It's just like a normal necessity. Any healthcare professions can wear it as well because you said that it's a compression garments in a different form. It depends on the cuff girth that you said that how it can adapt. Because me myself is using compression garments, so it's just have different strength, but it will be a little bit more rubbery texture. You know what I mean? But yours is really like it's soft. I have it. I tried it one time. It's really good. Can you show us more? How does it look? The one in the mannequin.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's really pretty. So
unlike
they,
the
I
sports
like that.
socks, sports socks do not have compression because they have an open back.
Oh,
So these stretch a great deal. But here it is on a wrapped leg. So you could see I didn't do a good job because I didn't wrap the foot, but you could see how the sock is literally expanded out.
you
It's
call that sports? Like
yeah,
for the
this
sports
is
athletic? Yeah, Olympics is coming.
That's true. And it's the lymphedema colors, right? Lymphedema
Mm-hmm.
colors. But, so many patients have told me when they have bandages on, and if they put on a tennis shoe and they start to walk, the bandage starts to separate by the back of their heel. But when
Yes.
they wear panda socks, the sneaker is rubbing on the back of the sock, so it doesn't affect the bandaging.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really really very important because once their bandages are split, then the swelling can come out between the bandages where that gap is, so we hold everything tightly in place. But they're not like compression socks that are so hard to put on. They're
Yes.
really
Mm-hmm.
easy to put on and easy to take off. And even people, you don't even need a sock don, or you don't need a sock aid to put them on.
Okay.
They're really easy to put on and take off. And the levels of compression basically change depending on how far out the sock is stretched, what the circumference is, which is, in our packaging, which is very unique because there's really nothing like that out there in the market.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. When you told me about the compression garments, majority of my clients really have are so hesitant because they don't have that enough strength to pull that because what I advise is a little bit stronger and not the TED stockings because the more that's the ring that you're talking about. And they're so afraid with knowing when I said compression stockings. Oh no, no, not the white thing that you have in the hospital. They're afraid of that because it's so tight on the posterior cuff. It has that red thing. Hmm.
Right. And I think, people, you need to be able to put your socks on easily. Like, you don't need to
Yeah.
fight to get your socks on. It needs to be easier. And I find, especially with the senior citizens in the geriatric community, when I took them into my mom's assisted living community and to long-term care facilities, they loved it because people were able to put on their socks themselves. They didn't have to
Oh,
ask
that's nice.
somebody to do it. And I think that from my experience and what I've seen, it's very important for people to still have some type of independence
Mm-hmm.
and be able to make those kind of choices for themselves, and to be able to do that as opposed to struggling every morning to put on a pair of socks.
Yes, that's really awesome. And also, I explained to them that when you are, they keep telling that's the only thing in their mind, the white thing in the hospital. I explained to them, you use it because you have difficulty in movement and to improve your blood flow and lymphatic flow, but it's only a 10 millimeters mercury. And if you are more on bed bound that time, just to prevent DVT, things like that. But now that you are mobile, you have a different resources to use. So you are mobile, you need to improve also your lymphatic and circulation. And these compression garments, Xpandasox, are really good options for you. So it doesn't need to be that you always need to cover something. But even I was surprised about the sports option. So sports athletic option and then aesthetic portion part of that, medically or lymphedema. So you have many different people you serve. Congratulations, Sharon.
Well, thank you. And the one other point I want to make is these are sized according to like traditional sock sizes. So
Mm.
sometimes there's confusion for people because every pair stretches to 61 centimeters or 24 inches. So you buy it according to how you would buy a regular pair of socks. And for men, we do a men's size 10 to 13, which is the traditional size for men, but men can also wear the women's size 10 to 12 because there's so much spandex and stretch in the socks that, I mean, I have a friend and he's on our website. I mean, they just really like stretch a lot. They stretch a lot. And he wears a 16 double A or triple A shoe. So, it fits him, which is incredible to me, but it does.
That's really good. At least you serve everybody in different sizes.
For
And
20.
that's not really available in the normal compression garments. It's limited because that's it. A small, medium, large XL. But the XL with other lymphedema cases, it doesn't mold and it might tend to roll over on the top. So this one has an option of, that's why
Right.
expand the
That's what
socks, socks that
it
expand. That's a good thing. Yes.
I just
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And then I always ask this, Sharon, to all my interviews. So what keeps you moving? So for yourself, keeps you moving motivationally and also physically. What
Well,
you're doing these things. Yeah.
what do I do these days? Do you mean related to business or
Yeah.
personal?
So that will be more on what keeps you moving, what motivates you to keep doing what you're doing right now. That's more on motivational and physically, like how you keep yourself up and about.
Well, what motivates me
Yes.
is every time a patient calls, because obviously I own a business. We've all been through a pandemic. uh, Sometimes I say, like, wow, what am I doing? This is really like, a lot of people are struggling. And I'll say, well, I don't know. I'm getting older. Do I really want to keep doing this? And then a patient will call and it's as if God answers my prayer. That patient calls, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. They just
That's nice.
every
Hmm.
time I hear that we're helping somebody, it just it fuels my fire. I just keep going, and I feel we're very blessed that we could help the community. And at the end of the day, when I go to sleep at night, I feel like I'm making a difference. So I just keep going.
Wonderful.
And what do I do physically? Whatever. Well, I walk 5 miles every day. And
Wow.
I do. My daughter, son-in-law, my two granddaughters live not even 10 minutes away. So I'm chasing after Layla and Emma, my 3-year-old and 1-year-old granddaughter. So they keep me busy.
Wow. Beautiful grandma. That's really amazing. Good
Thank
for
you.
you. Hmm.
I'm very
Congratulations, Sharon. So, any closing remarks for our listeners? We have
I
clinicians, members.
I just really, I feel so humbled to be part of this community and to help. And, I learn from all of you. So, anybody who has suggestions, anybody, we're working right now on a better version of a thigh high garment. We're working on an arm sleeve. So, we're working in this direction. Last year we had to sort of slow down a little bit because we didn't know what was happening, but God willing, all of this is in the works and it'll be coming to fruition. But I just thank everybody. And as I said, just wherever we need to improve, let us know. I'm very humble and I'm always looking for good direction from everybody.
You're welcome. And what's your website if they want to check you out?
www.xpandasox.com.
All right. And can you spell us about the Xpandasox just
It's
for them?
it's
XP.
Xpandasox.com.
All right. So there you have, guys. We have Sharon Thorp, the founder of the Xpandasox. That's really wonderful, Sharon. Thank you so much for this education and information that you shared for us. Innovators like you really help everybody because you always find solution to each other's problem. It doesn't need to be lymphedema alone, and you have also solutions for people in athletic world, and also edema, just normal swelling. And also because when you say lymphedema, guys, it's more on unilateral, like one side is bigger than the other, but edema is more on equally. And some of these cases just pops up as a secondary stage lymphedema, like it will pop up when you had surgery, even years ago surgery, it will pop up after 5 years. That's why they don't know exactly how this comes up. There's a first stage that they were born after a few years, months, and then they have it, like elephantiasis in different area. So they call it that way. So education is very important. You love to serve. You need to be advocate for each other, and you might have a family who might need this, a friend of a family. So we have these wonderful resources, and we have Expand the Socks tonight for you to share that it's around the area. Amazon, that's really easy to click it on, and also for our other names that where you can find it. I'll try to put it on the post once I publish the interview of Miss Sharon Thorpe. So once again, guys, thank you for listening. Help each other. It's me again, Dr. Jenny, Yusuf Physical Therapist and Dr. Physical Therapy. I'm your geriatric clinical specialist and certified exercise expert in aging. I'm also certified lymphedema specialist under the Academy American College of Lymphatic School. All right, so guys, if you have any questions, I can connect you with Sharon. And also, if you have any queries, inquiries, just connect with me. All right. And also, as your vice chair in Global Health in Aging Adults by the Special Interest Group by APTA, we are here to help you with different information if you have specific topics you want to discuss. All right. Bye, guys. And God bless. Thank you so much and take care.